Winners of 9 of the last 10. Tonight, the Jackets go for their 7th win in a row. New Jersey, Columbus. It's live and straight ahead only on Fox Sports Ohio. And welcome to the Arena District in Columbus, Ohio, where tonight at Nationwide Arena, the Columbus Blue Jackets begin a 3-game homestand by hosting the New Jersey Devils. Columbus comes home riding a 6-game winning streak, all against Western Conference opponents. Tonight, of course, they face the Devils out of the Eastern Conference, and they try to improve numbers in 2 categories: games against the East and games here at home against at Nationwide Arena. The Devils have lost 5 in a row, but I can tell you right now they have no interest in extending either their streak or the Blue Jackets streak. A couple of big additions to the Jackets roster. And guys, as we throw upstairs to Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley, nice to be talking about additions rather than subtractions for sure.
And that is certainly the story tonight, Dave. Thank you and good evening, everybody. Well, the Blue Jackets, Jody, hard to believe. Here we are, game 76, and this will represent the Jackets being the healthiest they've been all season long. Opening night, they had 5 regulars out. Tonight, just 4 with the return of Wenberg and Calvert.
Amazing. And you can really see what's taken shape here the last few games. Dave just said they're won 6 in a row, looking for 7. Boone Jenner is back. These guys, this is big for the Blue Jackets. Matty Calvert plays to the identity of the team. Wenberg is a young, emerging star here. He's played a big role, and he's excited to be back himself.
Congratulations are in order. Not for you yet, but for Cam Atkinson, who's the 2nd star of the week. 4 goals and 7 points.
He's been hot, and he'll admit playing with Boone Jenner is a big deal. It takes a lot of doubt out of his game. Cam's got the speed. Cam's got the skill. He knows where to go to score goals. He makes players better with his skill here. He always wants the puck in all situations, especially in the offensive zone. But yeah, he's hot. Last week, Hartnell. This week, Atkinson.
Isn't it more than a coincidence the Jackets are playing their best hockey of the season with a guy by the name of Jenner back?
I don't think so. I think this kid has got a lot of things that, as a fan of hockey, you appreciate what he does every single night. He comes here in the Blue Jackets uniform. He's thrilled to be back. We know that. He's physical. He's already got 80 hits. He's only played 26 games this year. He brings it each and every shift. His teammates love him. He loves being in the lineup. Great to see him score last game. That's what we need, is that identity around here.
And as far as the Devils are concerned, they were officially, mathematically eliminated from the postseason with a loss on home ice to Anaheim on Sunday. But they do have one of the premier offensive threats, one of the best goal scorers in the league in Mike Camilleri.
Well, this guy's been dynamic. He's been a leader and a bright spot for a team that's underachieved all year. They got an older team. He's an older guy. He's been on a few other teams around the league. But here he comes in with a young group. He's one of the guys that knows how to score on a team that really has struggled. We know the New Jersey Devils play well defensively. We know Schneider is a fantastic goalie. But where is their scoring? Well, this is one bright spot for them. Watch him tonight.
Tell you what, the Devils will miss the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. That's the first time in almost 30 seasons. But let's pay tribute to them because they have 3 players in particular that have played over 1,000 games each, and they have all contributed to the success of this team.
Well, Elias, over 1,200 games, over 1,000 points. This guy's been a New Jersey Devil, it seems like, forever. Gomez was here for a long time. Won a Stanley Cup. Now he's back, and he's one of the best players on the league. On the team. Leads the team in assists. And then Zupas. This guy is a horse. He's got another year in his contract. He's a big body. That's a lot of games in this league.
Absolutely. So we are moments away from the opening faceoff. The Blue Jackets and the Devils conclude their season series. Jackets back on home ice, looking to continue their winning ways. The opening faceoff is
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by First Financial Bank. Another step on the path to success. By IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and energy costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. And by Nationwide. At Nationwide, we put members first. To find a local agent, visit Nationwide.com. Nationwide is on your side. It's a hockey night in Central Ohio, and yes, spring has sprung, and the Jackets hope to continue their winning ways tonight as they face off against the Devils from New Jersey. Sergei Bobrovsky again between the pipes tonight, 9-1, 2.35 goals against average, a .930 save percentage in his last 10 starts. And at the opposite end, Corey Schneider, a .928 save percentage. That is third best in the National Hockey League, despite what you see is a losing record. Our referees tonight, Rob Martell and Ghislaine Hebert. Brian Murphy, Andy McElman are the linesmen. The Devils wearing their traveling whites. The Jackets happy to be back home in their home blues. And Jody, the Jackets certainly have come together here over the last several weeks, and they'd like to finish on a high note, especially here on home ice, which has not been favorable throughout most of the year.
No question. You know, they found some chemistry the last couple weeks. That Dano, Cardinal, Wenberg line has really got things going, and it just seems like healthy bodies. There's a lot of good things around this organization right now.
And it was great to see the number of Jackets that are on the opening night roster here returning and healthy. Foligno sends it in. Jackets in pursuit, and Isimov finishing a check. Tossed to the right side by Green. Gianta with a clearing pass looking for Elias. It sails into Jackets territory. Quick change here by both teams, 30 seconds in. Right back to Dalton Prout, whose game has certainly shown marked improvement here over the last stretch, and they're finishing a check along the wall. Again, Prout with a hit. He led the Jackets and set a career high with 9 hits on the recent road trip.
He's done a nice job not only being physical, but smart in front of the goaltender, hoping to keep that area clean of bodies and pucks.
Bobrovsky will hold on, and as we mentioned, the Jackets healthier than they've ever been. Let's take a look at the forward lines and how they have been put together here by Coach Todd Richard.
Oh, just look at the middle of the ice. You got Johansson, Dubinsky, Wenberg, Letestu, and Isimov on that left wing, that second line left winger. He's usually in there. So your 4 centerman you want at the beginning of the year there. And look at the wings. These guys have got some NHL established players in the lineup. Just a different feel when you look at that lineup sheet. And watching pregame skate, you can see the bounce and the swagger in their step.
Alexander Wenberg back after missing 4 games with a hand infection. Again, he was left behind in Vancouver until the swelling went down. Happy to be back, and telling Dave Metzel prior to the game that he likes the fact that he's ready and right back with his normal mates of late in Hartnell and Dano. There is Wenberg taking a seat on the bench, approaching the 2-minute mark. Each team with a shot on goal here as the Devils fire in, and it's icing.
You were talking of Wenberg coming back. Watch this. First shift on the ice. He runs into, reaching for the puck here. He's playing the puck. Bernier is a solid player, always looking for the hit first. Big hit here on Wenberg. He's okay. That's not a bad way to come back. You get involved right away, but hopefully he's all right. He went right to the bench. We'll just keep an eye on him. But welcome back, Wenberg.
Cody Goluboff on for Kevin Connaughton. Letestu will backhand it up the left wing boards, where Matt Calvert returns after a 15-game absence, out with a concussion. And lurking there in the slot, moves to the right wing boards as the Devils shift over to the right side. Merrill bumped there by Jeremy Morin. Stick to side. Jackets healthy scratches tonight are Falk and Trop. Jared Bull serves out the 3rd game of his suspension. His return will be a welcome one. 2.5 minutes plus gone. Opening period.
You talk about players getting healthy and getting back in the lineup. We'll talk about Wenberg. Wenberg's been watching, and young Carlson fit in that spot nicely, and he was getting a little antsy, and he said, boy, I was ready to come back and healthy, but I wasn't sure if I was actually going to play this game or not. But he was relieved to find out yesterday that he would be back in the lineup.
Carlson, who was impressive, sent back to Springfield, but he will be back. had 4 quality games for the Jackets.
That's funny when you're watching, though, and someone else doing your job in that position. Well, you get antsy. Even though they're teammates, you want to be out there. So he's thrilled to be back here tonight with his line mates.
Without question. Approaching the 4-minute mark, marching through the neutral zone, the Devils decide to dump in and make changes, as do the Jackets. Tooten with a right wing feed for Johansson, unable to get a stick on it. Fraser sends it to center, and it's chopped back into Jackets territory. Dalton Prout had it briefly. Stéphane Matteau, the son of the former NHLer. Stéphane Matteau.
Matteau that scored a big goal against the Devils in '94.
For the New York Rangers.
Right.
Matteau. Here's a first-round pick. I think he's underachieved to this point in time, but still, Matteau, a quality player, and high hopes for him.
Yeah, he's getting a nice opportunity with Zajac and Camilleri. That was a spot that Tutu was in, but let's look at the Toyota keys of the game. Manage that 200-foot game. You got to do it all night long. We've seen it already. A couple turnovers. Jersey can cause those and take them out on you. Be careful with that puck. All aboard. Everybody's got to be on deck tonight. All 5 gone. All 5 lines. And all the defensemen and the goaltender. And push. You got to push physically, and you got to push yourself here tonight. Got to get involved early, especially coming back at home.
Up along the near boards. Gomez battling across the line. Wenberg avoids a hit there from Merrill, far side. Jackets pressure deep in New Jersey territory. Jelena draped all over Hartnell, and Schneider gloves it and will hold on as we get a look at the general manager, president, and of course right now interim coach Lou Lamoriello, who is ably assisted by a couple of Hall of Famers in the names of Adam Oates and Scott Stevens.
Well, Lou Lamoriello watching pregame skates. Scott Stevens, Adam Oates on the ice running practice along with Tommy Abilene. Lou Lamoriello on the bench in a tracksuit conducting traffic from the sidelines. I guess like a GM coach is supposed to do.
Exactly.
I'm not sure.
Well, Lou, of course, for a long time was athletic director at a premier college in the U.S., and he saw the way football coaches did it. From Providence College, he developed a player or two along the way.
Oh, there you go.
Long shot there by Goluboff. Rebound sent wide of the net. 5 minutes plus gone. Off the wall. Pressure. 2-2. Looking to clear the zone and does. Connaught handing here to Goluboff at center. Goluboff will drive it deep in the zone as we approach the 6-minute mark. They look in terms of the success, Jody, that this franchise, the Devils, have had. But this will be the first time since 1986-87, 29 seasons, that they will miss the playoffs for the 3rd straight year.
Yeah,
un-Devil-like.
Yeah, it sure is. Things are changing in that area, that metro area. You look at the New York Islanders have jumped in there in that area, in that position. The Boston Bruins are in a battle. Teams that are coming in the East and the West.
Davinsky dumps in. It's played there by Schneider. Green. Miami of Ohio product sends it to center. He had the game-winning goal in the game here earlier on this season. On to David Savard. Ryan Johansson. Atkinson, second star of the week, brought back in by Jenner, and offside the call. 13:44 left. Opening period. No score from Nationwide.
We're back here at Nationwide Arena. Early in the first period, that man, Sergei Bobrovsky's had quite a year. He's won his last 5 starts. This guy's dedication off the ice, on the ice, Jeff, these routines he has. This is a little example in warm-up just a few minutes ago. And here he is, checking the angles, getting everything right. He's got a lot going on, a lot of moving parts for a goaltender. Making sure his eyes are right, his legs feel right. Just got to feel that the way he likes it, we'll put it. Get ready for a game. It starts for him early in the morning, and you can see right up till puck drop. He's got a checklist of things he goes through.
Well, the focus is there, no doubt. And yet another one of the Jackets you wish was healthy all season long.
Yeah, he's had a struggle, boy. It's been a few times he was out, and the Blue Jackets missed him dearly.
First with a broken finger, suffered in practice, and then later the torn groin.
January 27th, that was right till February 28th, so
Missed out on playing in the All-Star game, and that really hurt.
Yeah.
Not only for him, but I think for all the Blue Jacket fans in Columbus. Up high. There's a shot by Green. Ricochets off his stick. Played by Mateau. Cycling out of the corner. This is Zajac. Up high. Green to the right point. And Jelena's shot blocked by the aforementioned Bobrovsky, and he will hold on as we check out the Elk injury report. And it's nice to see the list has shortened somewhat.
Nice. Great. It's awesome. These guys. Ryan Murray was skating in a tracksuit today. Who knows? Maybe he'll be back before the end of the year.
David Clarkson, we talked to him prior to heading out on that brief trip to Chicago and St. Louis. And been tough for him to watch coming to Columbus and getting hurt in the first game. Tried to play through it. They'd hope to have a healthy and productive Clarkson come next year. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time. Later in tonight's game, it's brought to you by Miller Lite. Great addition. Clarkson, of course, former Devil. And boy, he had some success with this New Jersey Hockey Club. He's got nothing but great things to say.
Good point, yeah. This is really where he made his mark and found his role as a full-time NHL top 6 player.
Shot ricochets through a couple of sticks, and Schneider able to track it down.
Job by the Jackets there, getting involved, getting on top of that paint and around there. That's where you want to be. Let this guy, Andy Green, skated here. Miami of Ohio product. One of the best skaters in the National Hockey League. He's underrated for his mobility. He's got that upside as a player. Look at the games he's played. He hasn't missed a game since mid-2012. He's just one of those players that gets it done quietly out there. The skill set, and he's got that great hockey sense.
Tonight's his 224th consecutive game. That's saying something in the NHL.
Yeah, it sure is. Especially a guy that plays all those minutes in all those situations.
Delayed penalty upcoming to the Jackets. Schneider's out of the net. Sixth skater comes on. Jackets winning 8 of the 9 faceoffs. Kept in up high by Green. In front, Bobrovsky goes the other way. Gomez, cross ice. Played by Elias. He took a swipe at it. Golubov gets a stick on it. And as we mentioned, the Jackets will be headed to the penalty box here.
This happened in the offensive zone.
Columbus penalty number 29, minor penalty for hooking.
As the Devils were making their way up ice, let's take a look at it here. Hooking for Golubov. Sorry, it's in the defensive zone, I guess. There it is, right under the arm. That was a long time in the defensive zone. There it is, right under the arm. Henry. Blue Jackets quick to the kill here, Jeff.
Jackets have won 9 of the 10 draws, including that one just there. And that's certainly been the Achilles heel for New Jersey. They are 27th of 30 in the league in face-off win percentage at 47.2%. That's un-Adam Oates-like. And let's say this, Jody, that particularly with the Jackets and their improved penalty kill of late, as Bobrovsky kicks one aside, winning those draws, particularly in the defensive zone, are important. And for that matter, when you're on the power play, the offensive end of the ice.
Of course.
Short-handed, Dubinsky down the right wing. Dubinsky fires, fought off by Schneider, and Dubinsky deposits the New Jersey player into the net, and a little discussion as a result.
Well, David Severson was there. The defenseman, Dubinsky saw daylight behind him. Watch what he does here. 28 White bobbles the puck. There goes Dubinsky. Gets on the inside of him. Now watch what Brandon does here. He fires the puck, and then he bowls over the defenseman that tries to hold him up. It was actually
Josephson.
Yeah, Josephson there, the forward. Brandon with the shot. I love his mentality to shoot the puck. And then he just bull rushed. Bull rushed Josephson. He's got a snarl on tonight. You can see it right there. Dubinsky.
Matt Calvert will take this face-off to Schneider's left. A minute, 10 seconds remaining on the New Jersey power play with Golubov off for hooking. Jelena for Camilleri, unable to control it. Anisimov sends it towards the net. and just bounces wide. Yelling at a play. Deals it off into the corner, and Anisimov forechecking along with Matt Calvert. Left wing pass here for Gomez. Across the line, hands it to Henrique. Right back to Gomez on the half wall. Gomez looks, gets it back. Observes, trying to deal to the point. Anisimov stepped in front of that intended pass. Gomez gets it right back at the goal line. Again, no doubt who the quarterback of this power play is. Gomez is the go-to guy. Not bad for a guy that started the season on the so-called taxi squad of the Devils.
That's right. No contract, practicing there in New Jersey. Found his way on a team. Now he's got a big role.
Henrique fires it over top of the net. Down to 15 seconds of the power play. Shot from the point there. Jacket step in front of it. I think Calvert was able to block it. Artem Anisimov steps to center. Anisimov to the offensive blue line. Long shot, stick to side. 3 seconds remain. Golubov standing at the penalty bench. Down to 2-1. He steps out. Jackets 1 for 1 on the kill. And they've now killed off 14 of the last 16 opposition power plays. And 26 of the last 30.
Matt Calvert back in the lineup on the first penalty kill. Blocks a shot. Right back into it for Calvert. I love that.
Elias in pursuit. Patrick Elias hands to Zubris. Laid up high. The shot golfed wide of the net. That coming off the stick of Larson. Centered in front. Tootin got a piece of it. Larson again lets one fly, and that too off the mark. Went off the heel of the stick. Meantime, the neutral ice battle ensues, and Jenner just pulls over the New Jersey forward along the wall there, Zubris. And now Jenner dishes Johansson circling the net. Johansson in front. Stick to side. Along the near boards, Devils look to clear, and Elias will send it, just missing the linesman there, Andy McElma. Columbus dump back in. Played here by Larson, overskates the puck. Jenner drills him along the wall. Zubris, right wing, rims it around the boards. Jackets keep the pressure on. They have 8 of the first 13 shots to the Blue Jackets, and the Devils send to the Columbus line. Golubov dumping in. Puck played there by Schneider. Knocked down. Battle ensues along the boards. Mateau on for Merrill. Merrill to center. Right wing feed there for Tutu. Connaughton steps up on him. Finishing a check behind the net there is Golubov. Scotty Hartnell, who leads the entire National Hockey League with 11 goals here in the month of March. And this is the final day of the month. He leads a trio of players by 1, including Alexander Ovechkin, who has 10 goals this month. And, of course, he leads the National Hockey League overall.
Yeah, not a bad group to be in there for Scotty Hartnell.
15 points of the month of March for Scotty. That's tied for the 8th best point total in all the NHL for March. 7:38 left. We remain scoreless. For sound tonight, one of the most candid coaches in all the National Hockey League. And, of course, we speak of Craig Hartsburg of the Blue Jackets. And he's been mic'd. And here's a little taste of what you're going to get in the second intermission.
Come on, Dees, come on, here. Get her up, get her up, get her up. Good battles here. Let's try to get that thing up quicker here. Get it up quicker. Let's get her going up ice. That's the way to get it up.
There you go. He wants that puck out of the zone. That's the message to his 6 defensemen there, the 4 that are on the bench.
I look forward with a great deal of anticipation to the Dave Metzel connection there with Craig Hartsburg, because regardless of what's going on in the game, you know, good or bad, you're going to hear from Craig Hartsburg.
Yeah, he's always got good stuff to say.
Does he have a
Smart man behind that bench.
former NHLer that certainly enjoyed a lot of success, most notably with the Minnesota North Stars. Tossed to the point by Gomez, played there by Severson. Devils in the neutral zone. Camilleri had it roll off his stick. One thing about the Devils, they try to dictate the hockey game. They've always been a franchise that have played this way. Calvert. Jeremy Moore. Knocked down there was Green. Mateau unable to get a stick on it. Thrown back for Green. Green. Far corner to Larson. Clearing pass. Camilleri tried to knock it out of the air, missed, play allowed to continue. And this is Dalton Prout moving up.
You know, you talk about New Jersey style. The Blue Jackets, I think it's a good test because you're right. They play kind of a wait-and-see hockey game. The Blue Jackets have no reason to play anyone else's game right now. They're playing very well, especially at home. Come out here and play their style.
On that right wing, Zajac the shot, and the stop made by Bobrovsky. Rebound on the left wing boards. Merrill tosses to the corner. Zajac was dumped, picked up there by Fedor Tutin. Less than 6 minutes left here in this opening period. Jackets find Dalton Prout. Prout head up. Looking to march out of the zone. Finds Fedor Tutin away from Elias, dumping it in. Jelena is there, and he'll toss it right back out. That's what the Devils' MO is here right now. Get the puck out of their zone and as quick as they can. They're a team that's not scoring a lot of goals now, Jody. In fact, since trading Jaromir Jagr on the 26th of February, they have struggled to score goals at all. They've only got 31 in the 15 games. That's just slightly more than 2. Quick shot there, off the netting and out of play. 5:08 left. Opening period. No score.
Welcome back into a scoreless game so far at Nationwide. Dave Metzel along with Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com. A look at Cody Golubev's performance since returning from injury. OHSAA Championship photo galleries and Indians players read mean tweets. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO.com.
Alexander Wenberg setting up for this faceoff. He's 5-0 in draws. Jackets are 10-2. Jody, that is marked improvement for a guy that struggled in the faceoff circle early on this season.
You know, he's a guy, too, Jeff, that studies his game. You'll see him going up to Dan Singleton, the video coach, and downloading clips of his faceoffs or positional play in the defensive zone, little details of the game. So he's definitely a student. Maybe he spent some extra time studying some stuff while he was out.
That's great to see. This is Wenberg across the line, on for Dano, in front for Hartnell, who steered it towards the net. Schneider able to bat it away. Up along the near wall. Devils control, they'll drop it back, trying to settle down the hockey game to their liking. Josephson dumping it in wide of the net. Jack Johnson, a clearing pass for Wenberg, who's knocked down. Jelena steps up to keep it in. Crowd looking for penalty to be called. That's 2-2 in the corner. Jack Johnson. Ruutu. We got Ruutu and Tutu playing together now. All we need is Tutin to make the stop.
Well, if it goes 2-2, the score gets 2-2, you're going to be tongue-tied.
Won't be difficult, believe me. Up high, the shot there by Merrill, and it's off the pad of Bobrovsky. Josephson. On for Tutu. Ruutu waits at the top of the circle. Josephson. Pin. Jack Johnson is there. Savard comes out of the pack. David Savard, clearing pass, and Anisimov looking for it. Held up there by the defenseman. That's interference. And the crowd looking, rightfully so, for a penalty to be called. None forthcoming there as Elias gets it ahead there for Zubris. Gianna drilled in the corner there by Dubinsky. Left wing Anisimov, it's off his skate. Now, Gianna trying to march to the net. Jackets defend. Tutin off the wall. Chipped ahead here, and alertly so, by Nick Foligno. Pulls up. Foligno waits, looks cross ice. Off the bench came Calvert, but unable to play him. Tutin at his own line. Dropping it back for Dalton Prout. Less than 3 minutes left in this scoreless first period. Right wing there for Calvert. Deep in the zone. Jackets finish a check there on Larson. Up high, Golubov able to keep it in, but sends it wide of the net. Cross check there. And again, the crowd looking for a penalty to be called. The officials letting them play. Morin.
This line's got a good little buzz to it. Morin, Calvert, and Letestu. Good speed with Morin and Calvert. Good puck possession, excuse me.
Up high, Golubov drills it wide. It's at the side of the net. Now Calvert walks in. And Schneider makes the stop.
Looks like he might have caught that with his Calvert might have shot that right into his pad as this. Morin's on the bottom of that pile. You can see him down there, number 9. A great play there by Letestu. That shot was initially taken. The rebound sat there. Letestu knew he didn't really have an angle, so he bounced it back between his legs to Calvert. Watch this. Watch how this play unfolds here. Puck gets in that dirty area. Watch 55 right there. Calvert throws it in. It's off the right arm of Schneider. And Calvert cannot believe it. The crowd here can't believe it either.
And because Morin looks like he's the only player going to the penalty box.
The crowd is into it here tonight. A couple non-calls they thought should have went their way here in Columbus. The fans anyways. And now one going against them to Morin. Todd doesn't agree either. Right back to the penalty kill here.
Roughing is the call. 17:49. One shot on the previous power play.
Look at this huddle taking place here. Bob's got some good information for Jack and David. They see how he brought them in. It was just like a football huddle.
We've seen more and more from the hockey team here as the season's gone on. The guys huddling and discussing, communicating.
Well, he was probably talking about something he picked up in the last power play. He just wanted to get these guys to sort it out. I haven't seen him talk that intently to his defenseman all year.
Great point. In front. Oh, what a stop there. Zajac, nothing but Bobrovsky in the net in front of him. And Bobrovsky moving laterally to make the save of the night. Sergei Bobrovsky again proving why he is one of the premier goaltenders in all the National Hockey League. Less than 90 seconds left. Gomez across the line. Looks to the right wing boards. Picked up there by Bernier. Bernier showing patience. Gets it around to Gomez. Gomez. Jelena. That's Camilleri dancing on the right side. Mike Camilleri. Off the backboard on to Gomez. Little more than a minute left. Less than a minute in the period. That one a partially fanned attempt by Camilleri.
Bobrovsky's got no goalie stick.
Well, he fanned on the first one, but not the second. It's a power play goal, much to the disgust of the crowd here at Nationwide. And it's not frustration in the Jackets as much as perhaps the officials.
Well, Sergei lost his goalie stick. A little collision with David Savard on the side of the net. That was the initial shot. You see Sergei's got a player stick. He's got Savard's stick there. Camilleri put that low. Let's look at him losing his stick here. He just lost his stick. David hands that one over. There he is clearing space, and there's that shot short side as the puck went across that seam in that defensive zone penalty kill position, and he had to stick with it, but Camilleri beat him with that shot on the short side.
Camilleri with his 26th and his 9th power play goal. He leads the Devils in that regard. Again, the Devils show patience. The Jackets have had the territorial play here for much of this first period, but New Jersey first on the board.
You talked about this team, New Jersey, not being able to score goals, and we talked about it in the open. The bright spot, Mike Camilleri. He's got 26 on the season.
Jelena and Henrique draw the assists. Final seconds ticking off here in this opening period. And now a penalty to New Jersey. Make-up call? Hartnell. Tootin.
I didn't see it.
Winberg. And play has been whistled down with a tripping penalty. Assessed here by Ghislain Hebert on Elias.
New Jersey number 26, minor penalty, tripping.
Elias doesn't agree. Let's take a look at it here. 47's going in there to play, and he goes down. Maybe you're right, Jeff. I don't know. Nonetheless, Jackets on the power play here to end this period.
From the draw, this one won by Zajac. Final seconds tick off as the Devils clear, and that will do it. Jackets outshoot the visiting New Jersey Devils 11-10, but are outscored 1-0 on the power play goal by Camilleri. After 20 minutes, here at Nationwide, 1-0 Devils. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Huntington Bank. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at bluejacketsbanking.com. And by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. All but set for second period play. Devils lead on the power play goal by Camilleri.
And there's Matty Calvert back in the saddle. He's got that tinted visor. You can see that. Usually the visor's a lot clearer than that, but he's got to wear that coming back from those concussion symptoms. He's played over 4 minutes, had some good shifts, block shot, shot on net, won a face-off. And how about this guy? Scott Gomez, the New Jersey Devils. Second choice, first round, 27th overall, 1998. Played around the league a little bit. Signed as a free agent here December 1st, 2014. Waited his turn, waited for the job, finally got it, and boy, he's fit in nicely here, Jeff, as you mentioned earlier with the Devils. He's leading the team in assists and doing a heck of a job running that power play. 31 points on the year.
Never should have left New Jersey. Signed as a free agent with the New York Rangers. Moved to Montreal. And then waited his opportunity, Jody, as you point out. Jackets are on the power play here. That's Foligno behind the net. On to Johansson, quick feed. Kevin Connauton. Johansson, top of the circle. Shot blocked there by Green. Foligno goes awkwardly into the boards, gets right back up. Up high, Connauton. Wenberg, Connauton. Schneider got a piece of that one. Played there by Gianta. Gianta on the left wing, steps to center. He's got Josephson with him. And he'll just angle it ahead and deep into Jackets territory.
Columbus 5 guys back there to pick up this puck. Looking to break out and into the Jersey Devils zone with speed here.
Kevin Connauton out to center. Drops it for Foligno. Nick Foligno hits Johansson. Johansson. Hartnell. Rimmed around the wall. Good hustle there by Wenberg to play it at the point. On to Connauton. The pass a little hard. Makes the play nonetheless. Tosses to Johansson. He'll let it go. Wenberg. Enriquez there. Oh, nice hand-eye coordination there by Wenberg. Just shoveled it ahead. Knocking it out of the air. Connauton spins, turns. Looks on to Johansson on that half board. 90 seconds in. Jackets power play down to 20. Wenberg. Far side. On to Foligno. Johansson. Ryan Johansson. Hanging on, showing patience. 5 seconds. Cross ice. Wenberg scores! Foligno redirecting the Wenberg shot. And it's 1-0. Or excuse me, 1-1. The Jackets are on the board to tie it up.
Oh, what a play there. Ryan Johansson, great patience with the puck. Waiting for the right seam to open to make this cross-ice pass. Watch him here, 19 head up on the right of your screen. Hartnell's an option there in the middle. Oh, there's another option. Wenberg on the far left of your screen. Here Wenberg is. Look at Nick Foligno in front of the net. Wenberg, great patience to wait for that lane to open up. Perfect pass. Nick Foligno stick on the ice. Thank you very much. Good job by all 5 of those guys working that puck in great position. Crowd loves it.
And for Nick Foligno, a power play goal. And that is his 11th manpower advantage goal of the season. Well, the Jackets have tied it up. They showed patience there, Jody, and that patience paid off.
Well, you saw Johansson. How about Wenberg, the rookie? Great patience on the power play. First came back from an injury. Waited just long enough to slide that pass to Nick Foligno.
Jackets look to march out of their own zone. Carrying in and across the line. The puck fed ahead, and Schneider will hang on. Great effort there by Wenberg. He knew to keep the shot low, and Foligno gets the stick on it.
Now, that was a pass all the way. I mean, that's a fake shot, but I love this play by Johansson. He sees his options. Watch him walk up. Now he's going to come down. Hartnell's going to pop out there. That's an option. He's got Foligno down low. But great heads-up play by Johansson to get that cross there. Weighed the options. He said, okay, if you want to leave me on the outside, I'll keep it on the outside, and I'll wait to pick the option I want.
Johansson picks up the second assist, primary assist again to Wenberg, and that extends for Ryan Johansson a point streak to 8 games. 3 goals, 7 assists, and 10 points in his last 8 games. Shot from a sharp angle. Schneider there. He'll cover up and hang on.
I like this line. Letestu, Moore, and Calvert. They got good speed. They've been in the offensive zone almost every shift they've been on the ice together. Creating speed, good support. And Morin's got to jump on his step tonight. You look at guys getting healthy. Corey Troff is a healthy scratch here tonight. Jared Bull's coming off his suspension next game. There's some options here for Todd Richards now, a luxury that he hasn't really had all year. So all these guys, their effort, their level, their attention to detail just naturally is going to rise.
Well, it also creates the kind of competition guys have got to keep their game at a high level to stay in the lineup, Jody.
Exactly, or stay on the line you're on, because you know what, if your line's not going and not creating that chemistry,
good point.
Someone else is going to jump in that spot, whether it's up and down the depth chart in this lineup.
There, thrown behind the net, Goluboff, and play is called.
Time of the goal, 149. That's an AEP power play goal.
After every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game. We talk to the players and coaches on Blue Jackets Live. Actually, we should be talking about the pregame show, which is 30 minutes before every game. It's presented by the Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Jump the gun a little bit there, boys.
Well, I can understand you wanting to promote the pregame show, after all. Front and center, our own Dave Metzel.
Saying he's self-promoting. Is that what you're saying, Jeff?
I didn't say it that way. Not that way. Not quite.
That's great work, though, Dave Metzel.
We love his features.
Here's Alex Wenberg taking the draw. This kid, I'm telling you, Jeff, sitting out and watching someone else do your job in that position. They were a hot line when he got injured. Wenberg, Dano, Hartnell, and then Carlson gets called up. Fellow countryman, sure, he's his teammate. And they get along, but when you're watching at home and there's success, when you get back, you want to do it right and better. And you can see that in his game here today.
Now, is that a man speaking from experience?
Of course.
Well, you know.
That's it, competition. There's different kinds of competition in a lineup, and that's another one. And the guy goes down to an injury.
I appreciate your honesty, though. Play call. 4 minutes into the second period. If you joined us late, Camilleri late in the period on the power play. And then Foligno tying it up because you got to look at Marco Dano.
Marco Dano, yeah.
How about him? He has 9 points in his last 9 games, including 3 goals. Had his first game winner.
Picked up an assist early last game, but was not happy with his effort. Said he was not very good at all. Tried to do too much. Everything he tried to do didn't work. Just a lesson for the young lad in the National Hockey League. He said, but it's all behind me. Tonight's a new game. I'm going to just go out there and play with my line mates.
That's refreshing.
It is. Sure it is. It's easy to carry that weight on your shoulders whenever you make a mistake. But good to hear a young guy be that mature and put it behind him.
Approaching the 5-minute mark, Foligno knocking down the New Jersey forward. There's Mateau on here to Camilleri. Flipped in front. Look at Bobrovsky move and then get the shoulder on it. Jackets have a breakaway. Dubinsky. Mateau trying to get back. Dubinsky fires. And will it be a penalty shot? Yes, it is. The slash from Mateau.
Just as Dubinsky went to release that puck, Mateau just kind of whipped his stick right at Dubinsky's wrist here. Watch it. Here he goes. Whack. Right on the hand. That causes enough to throw off Dubinsky to get really... Look at that. Wow, that's quite a whack on the hands. Good call by the referee here. Penalty shot coming up. Brandon Dubinsky.
Here comes Dubinsky. Picks up the puck at the red center line. Down the right side, moving in. Schneider retreats. A shot and a goal. It's a penalty shot goal, and it puts the Jackets up.
Well, here it is, Brandon Dubinsky. Confident the whole way in on Schneider. One-on-one. Quick release. Just beats him right here. Looks like it went just under the glove. And watch him celebrate. Thank you very much. Brandon likes that spotlight right there, and he took full advantage of it.
4:44, the time of the penalty shot goal. Dubinsky's 10th of the season. And how about Dubinsky? I think he enjoys a little extra motivation, Jody, playing the New Jersey Devils. That is his 14th goal and 29th point in 38 career games against the Devils. Of course, many of those played with the New York Rangers.
Of course, and when he played for the Rangers, we talked about it earlier, the Islanders, all those great rivalries in that area, Flyers. Dubinsky rises to the occasion right there, getting that breakaway and then leading to the penalty shot. Made no mistake.
Matt Calvert trying to fish that puck free. Henrique up high. Larson shovels it ahead. Matt Calvert now at center. You got Letestu on the left wing looking for the pass, but Gomez gets a stick on it, alertly so. 14 minutes, 25 seconds remaining here in the second period. Outlet pass on that left wing. Carried through and across the line. This is Zubris now. Dana Zubris pulls up, rims it around the wall, looking for Elias on the left side. Gianta now cycling out. Gianta. Severson fires high and wide. Sails out to the right wing boards, and it's out to center. Jenner with the active stick. Good work there. Severson defending. Gianta chips it ahead. Elias on here to Zubris. Across the line, sends it over the stick of Savard. Gianta slips and falls. Atkinson draped all over him as we approach the 7-minute mark. Gianta far circle, swept away there by Johansson. Here's Zubris. On for Elias. Patrick Elias, a backhand pass. Camilleri off the bench. Zubris the shot. Camilleri tried to get a stick on it in the slot. Jenner shovels to the right wing boards. Now Zajac. Johansson reaching for. Able to clear the zone. Good work there by Johansson. One man back. Johansson waits for reinforcements. He's cross-checked there by Jelinek. On here for Feder Tutin. Tutin had it knocked away. Camilleri off the wall. Mateau in pursuit. Dalton Prout rolls it to the right side. Dumped in by Dano. Played by Hartnell. Tossed in front. Winberg tried to get a stick on it. Good hustle and anticipation. There's Dano to the net. And Schneider will hold on. The Jackets take the lead on a penalty shot and a salute by Dubinsky. Wired for sound tonight. You'll hear quite a bit of it during the second intermission. Right now, though, let's listen in.
Shoot the puck here, eh? Shoot the puck. Get it there. Sit up on him. Go, boys. Good job here. Yeah, Sammy, let's go here.
That's an associate coach who's been a head coach many times in amateur and in the NHL. Head coach in Chicago, Anaheim for the Ducks. And then a head coach back in junior for a bit, but been around a long time as a player and a coach, Jeff, and you can see it there. Yelling at the troops downstairs.
He's a gamer, no doubt about it. Winberg. Dalton Prout. Prout floats one in. The save made and held by Schneider.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide. Nationwide, the official sponsor of your Columbus Blue Jackets.
Talking about Craig Hartsburg, it's interesting. A lot of guys, after they lose the job in the NHL, they go to like the American League or a place like that. Craig Hartsburg has returned to major junior hockey. Actually, after losing the head job in Ottawa, he returned to Everett of the WHL, where he coached Ryan Murray. Then he came back as an associate coach in Calgary. 1 year there and then left to come to Columbus, and he's been here since 2012-13 season.
And certainly a key member of Coach Todd Richards' staff, without question.
Let me just tell you about the WHL. They travel on a bus, and the worst trip, I think, is 26 hours on a bus. So a little different than the National Hockey League.
Yes, it is. Oh, boy, that one drilled by Golubov, but wide of the net. But he's a lifer. And it doesn't matter where you are, he's certainly happy to coach and teach young players, and the Jackets certainly a young hockey team.
Oh, yeah, he brings tremendous value to this team.
Approaching the 9-minute mark as the puck is flipped in the air and back into Jackets territory. Connaughton picks up the rolling puck, looks up ice, sends it to the offensive blue line. Matt Calvert steers it deep. Up along the right wing boards. Pass ahead. Dumped in wide of the net. Ruutu taking a hit. Letestu sends it up but not out. Quick shot there by Jordan Tutu, and down. Making the stop is Bobrovsky. Now, Jody, you talked about it in the first period. Tutu playing higher in the lineup. The last couple of times we saw the Devils, but tonight, for whatever reason, he's camped on that fourth line. But boy, he was productive playing with the likes of Camilleri earlier on this season.
Camilleri and Zajac, Mateau has stepped up in that position. And I think it's just to give Mateau a look. A team in New Jersey that's well out of the playoffs, looking to the future and see what they have. They want to know how these guys fit in some scenarios. And I believe it's just an opportunity to check that out with Mateau, Camilleri, and Zajac.
Makes sense. Of course, there were several teams that were interested in Tutu at the trading deadline. He doesn't have a contract for next year, but Lou Lamoriello liked what he saw this year and obviously has kept Tutu on board. So I would think there'll be another contract in the offing.
Yeah, he brings a lot. Not only that physical play, you just saw that last shot. Got a quick release. Smart player to play with players higher in the depth chart too.
Gomez gets it to Henrique. It hopped over his stick. Still able to toss it behind the net. Gomez away from Jack Johnson. Johnson not giving up though. Oh boy, nice shot there from below the goal line. And Bobrovsky had to be quick and sharp. Green. Camilleri off the bench. Stick save. Rebound. Bobrovsky trying to cover up and will as he reaches below the goal line to hold on.
Quick play there by Camilleri right off the bench. Heads up play at the line. As soon as Camilleri jumps on the ice, he's yelling. He's saying, hey, hey, hey. That allows the defenseman there, Larson, to pick that up, get him the puck. Sergei gets fooled there at the last second. He didn't pick it up till the end. But technically sound, plays that off the top of the pads and then reaches back for the rebound.
Jackets leading on the scoreboard, leading on the shot clock, and leading in the hit parade at last check. 22-12. Connaughton, Jenner, and Prout with 3 each. Camilleri leaves it on the right wing there for Zajac. Jackets step up. Atkinson trying to feed Boone Jenner. Wins the board battle. Tosses it back here to Tooten. Jenner lets it go. Atkinson now. Draped along the wall. Steps free. Atkinson wraparound attempt. Looking for number 21 in the year and didn't miss by much. Went right through the blue paint. Back to the Jackets line. Dalton Prout away from Camilleri. Hands to Tooten. Devils change on the fly. Jackets, Atkinson, right wing. Atkinson fires right across the goal mouth. Johansson waits at the half wall. Tosses it back here for Goluboff. Goluboff moves in. Fires a shot. Save made by Schneider. No further play. 9:21 left. Second period. From Nationwide. Jackets lead 2-1.
Here at Nationwide Arena behind the bench with Brad Larson. Brad, what do those 2 early goals in the second period do for this hockey team?
Well, it gives you energy. Puts some energy in the building, and power play got the job done early, which was great. It got us rolling.
We've been listening to your partner down here, Craig Hartsburg. He's wired up. What should we learn from Hartsy?
Oh, there's a lot of wisdom there. A lot of years behind the bench. You know what? Whatever he says, I would listen.
There you go. The rookie Larson.
You can learn a lot.
Speaking highly of the veteran Hartsburg.
Wenberg wins yet another faceoff back here at the point. Goluboff the shot. It is blocked. Devils look to march out and do. Gianna at center. Chips it by the defenseman Connaughton to go to the wall. Zubris. Goluboff drapes him along the board. Tell you what, Goluboff has really stepped up his game, given an opportunity to play on a night-to-night basis.
Well, he's got a lot more physical. You can see right there. He gets involved. He doesn't hesitate as much. He's getting a nice opportunity.
Jackets continue to play without Ryan Murray, giving Goluboff the opportunity to show his wares. Less than 9 minutes left here in the second period. Jackets, Hartnell on for Connaughton. Oh, my apologies, that was not Hartnell, that was Dano on the right wing. Hartnell waiting here on the left. 8:32 remaining. Left wing. Ruutu unable to play it. Jackets march in. This is an easy mob. Dubinsky lurking on the left side. His goal, the difference right now, scoring on a penalty shot. Jackets lead 2-1 with 8:20 left. Jack Johnson finishing a check. Johnson, after winning the battle, is able to clear, but no Jacket anywhere near, and Columbus called for icing.
Jack Johnson thought he had an option there on the wall. Just didn't connect with the winger. That brings it all the way back.
From the faceoff, Savard, Johnson hits Anisimov at the offensive blue line. Dubinsky again goes right to the net. Dubinsky with Foligno below the goal line. Nick Foligno started the scoring for the Jackets with a second period power play goal, evening things up after the Camilleri power play goal late in period 1. Merrill dumps in. Part of Anisimov and Zajac come together. Loose puck, scooped up here by Dubinsky. Working on Jelena. At the line. Looks to the right wing. Savard in front. Foligno had the stick down but couldn't get the stick to the puck.
Yeah, it was just closer to his skates than his stick. Went in between his stick and skates, I'm sorry. And that kind of tracked Foligno. He couldn't get the puck on his stick.
Anisimov keeping it away from the Devils. 7 minutes, 8 seconds left. Bobrovsky able to steer to the corner. Jeremy Morin now along that wall away from Green. Hustles out of the zone. Camilleri pins him, but the Jackets still able to send it into New Jersey territory. Less than 7 minutes left here in the second period. Dalton Prout. Prout for Calvert. Backhanded out to center. Across the line. Lecheski, Calvert, big rebound there, but Morin unable to get to it. This is Bernier, on for Henrique. Henrique sends it into Jackets territory. Bobrovsky out to play, off the bench, quick shot there, stick to side. Dalton Prout. At Calvert. Prout for 2. Prout. Calvert in neutral ice, pressure. Gets it back for Prout. Jackets look for another opportunity. And there on the right side, Atkinson trying to spring free.
Great move there by Atkinson. Great quickness right off the bench. Feet and hands going. Almost gained a step on the defenseman.
Kevin Connauton.
Quick move.
This is Jenner coming with speed. Jenner fires a shot. May have glanced off the shoulder of Schneider. Shot from the right point, missing the mark. Golubov letting it fly. Golubov steps up. Away from Tutu. Back up high Atkinson. Quick feed Connauton. Wrist shot blocked there by Zubris. Now Atkinson. Johansson trying to flip a backhand to Connauton. Broken up, but Johansson recovers with that long reach.
Yeah, long reach. Good strength on his stick to get that play after the turnover.
Rink wide, Johansson back to the point. Great puck movement by the Jackets. There's Jenner tossing it in front. Connauton. Jenner again from the corner. Jackets playing keep away. Shoveled towards the net there by Marco Dano. Up high. Little spinorama in the corner. Connauton trying to fight through the check. Gianta had him briefly. Devils, Josephson. Bumped there by Golubov. This one hops over the stick of Johansson. And he will head off as Bobrovsky plays. Both teams change on the fly. The puck sent to center. Now Schneider from one goaltender to another.
Yeah, Bobrovsky tried to connect with Hartnell, who was at the far blue line. Showing good patience with the puck, Bobrovsky.
4 minutes, 22 seconds left. Continuous action. Shot there by Jack Johnson. Save Schneider. Rebound. Schneider reaching behind him. Jackets unable to send it. And Dano is down. And he is in some difficulty here as Ghislaine Bear checking out.
Zajac gave him a shot to the chops, and Zajac will sit.
Power play for Columbus when we come back.
Columbus Blue Jackets have the lead here, 2-1. Travis Zajac in the box for, well, let's just show you what he did to the man on the left, Dano. Dano, 56 in there. Zajac, 19, comes in. Oh! Watch Dano here again. Might have sold it a little bit. Jackets on the power play. Columbus
with their second manpower advantage of the night. They are 1-for-1. They had just the single shot, and it was Foligno finding the back of the net on a redirect of a Wenberg pass, purposely sent right into the slot. Dubinsky fights off LaForchak. Jenner flips it backhand. Dubinsky on to Atkinson. Cam Atkinson. Savard. David Savard rims it around the boards. Comes back to the left point for Jack Johnson. Johnson, 18 power play assists, 25 power play points. And finally, getting that elusive 50th goal the other night on the road. 50th of his career.
I love this comment after that. He said, been in the league long enough to have more than 50 goals.
Not happy.
No.
That's good.
That's great.
Savard, Jack Johnson. Johnson, Savard. And it gets away from him and sails all the way back into Jackets territory. They scored their first power play goal on their previous power play with but 3 seconds left in the manpower advantage. Showing a lot of patience. Second unit out there now, including Hartnell. Scotty Hartnell here in the last day of March, leading the National Hockey League with 11 goals. Actually now with Ovechkin getting his 50th tonight, they are now tied. That's pretty heady company. Hartnell and Ovechkin each with 11 goals. Of course, Ovechkin's got 50.
After you get done listening to the impeccable Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game, and we talk to the players and coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas costs. Enroll at IGSenergy.com. How about that, boys?
Flattery will get you everywhere. There's Hartnell.
Hartnell knows how to score goals, and he makes players around him better. And he's had a heck of a March, as you said, but...
Did you read Aaron Portzline's story today about Hartnell? Really, really well done. Hartnell not satisfied and wants to improve, loves the team, thinks there's a great future here. It took him a while to settle in, Jody. And
I think that's the key. I think that's the key. When your life changes like that, I mean, he was given the news that Philly was going to trade him. Will you waive your no-trade clause and go to Columbus? We have a great deal on the table. He had to wrestle with that. First of all, that he wasn't going to be in Philly anymore because he was a big member of the community and that organization. And then he gets here, things are different. Then there's injuries. It wasn't exactly how he drew it up this year, but I'll tell you what, you're seeing what he can do with his teammates, especially the young guys.
Zajac out of the box. He also talked, which was really refreshing for me, and I know you're well aware of this, but that Hartnell Down charity, he'd like to see that grow here in Columbus and reach the heights that it was in Philadelphia. All in an effort to promote the fact that he'd like to see more young players play hockey, and here Bobrovsky doing just that. And outstanding goaltending in front of the Devils, much to the appreciation of the crowd here.
There's Foligno with the puck. A little tap from Ilyas. He goes down, and that leads to a turnover here. Quick play at the net. Bobrovsky's got to be on his toes there. He gets hit in the hand, and then a little bit in the shin, and then he loses his edge. And it caused that last opportunity for the Devils.
Just getting back on the bench, Jamie Healy tending to that skate. He'd gone down the runway there. And now Healy works on this skate as play continues. Matt Calvert on there for Letestu. Never underestimate the job that these guys do, the equipment guys, keeping the players in the game, so to speak.
Oh, it's crazy. They're so good at their craft, which is many.
A little more than a minute left. Calvert, Jelinek, Letestu steps into him. Jack Johnson steps up. Less than a minute to go. David Savard on for Matt Calvert. Jelinek to play. Wholesale changes on both sides. Severson waits, toss to center, away from Camilleri, the lone goal scorer for the Devils, and they're called for icing here.
Oh, you can see this line now with Artem Anisimov is out there with Dano and Dubinsky. With those last two power play units, Todd had power play units early in the year. Both of them were their own separate lines, so 5-on-5 lines got out there together. But with that second unit, with Foligno and Hartnell out there together, switches up the lines a little bit. So he's got to run through a couple makeshift lines before he can get his units back together.
Well into the final minute. Schneider sends it around the wall. Dano finishing a check there on Mateau. Anisimov behind the net, looking to walk out. Artem Anisimov threads the needle, finds Golubov, all kinds of traffic in front. Schneider never saw it, but went off the pad.
Yeah, he went down in that butterfly position and went off his right pad. He just reacted as he felt it go off that seam in the inside seam of the pad as he was down. Solid for the New Jersey Devils. I mean, he's just a guy that faces a lot of shots, keeps his team in it. They could score more goals. They'd be dangerous, but they play that great defensive style, and the goaltending is tremendous. This is his 66th game this season. A lot of work.
Third best save percentage despite his losing record at .928. So, for the Jackets, 13 shots in the second period, 2 goals. For the Devils, 8. They were held off the score sheet. After 40 minutes of play, the Jackets outshooting the Devils 24-18, but where it counts, the 2 goals by Foligno on the power play and the penalty shot 2-1. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Roush Honda. The best way to say Honda is Roush Honda. And by Ticketmaster. Score. Get the only NHL tickets sold by fans and verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey, no hassle right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. All but set for third period play, but before they drop the puck, how about the IGS Energy performers, Jody Shelley?
Yeah, 2 goal scorers there. Dubinsky doing a great job in the face-off circle, him and Wenberg. These guys had a great, really an awesome second period. A lot going on in that period for the Blue Jackets. Sergei getting his angles right. Look, he's got the crease all marked up there so he doesn't slide around too much. Scratched it up just the way he likes it, and he's set to go here. We're ready for puck drop.
9-1 in his previous 10 games. Sergei Bobrovsky guarding the Jackets net here. Nick Foligno looking for Artem Anisimov. Severson had the puck taken away. Tossed here to Dalton Prout. And coming out and tracking it down was Schneider, who anticipated and was able to play that puck off the body. Now Foligno into the corner. That's Zubris. Zubris high off the glass. Gianna unable to clear. Zubris again this time. Gets it out to center. The Jackets will fire back in. Dubinsky on the backhand with Anisimov in pursuit. Fresh legs come on 40 seconds into this third period. Jackets home here Thursday to the New York Islanders. Saturday afternoon. Note the start time. Jackets and the Penguins at 2 o'clock start. And the Jackets head to New York Easter Sunday afternoon. And they will take on the New York Rangers in a game that you'll see here on Fox Sports Ohio. But then again, you'll see them all for the balance of the season. Monday night, a week from last night, they'll close out their seasonal schedule at the Garden in New York. Camilleri, the goal scorer for the Devils. Tossed back here to the point. Larson with a shot, and it was deflected and just wide.
Good job by Sergei to get his arm on that one last second. Keep it out of the cage.
Ryan Johansson with Atkinson. Johansson, right-handed shot, trying to send it in front. Green able to step in front of the intended pass. And now marching down the right wing is Zajac. He's able to send it the rest of the way. Jackets continue those line changes, keeping them short here in the third. Right side. Marco Dano. Merrill holds him up. Waiting. Neutralizes Henrique. Henrique now. Knocked away by Dano. Merrill again. Hands it here to Dano with the steal, but he couldn't pull the trigger.
Good job by Dano. Puck rolled on him early as he tried to get it deep, but there he makes it up with a nice turnover.
Behind the net, Golubov. Puck rolling. Connaughton knocking down the Devils forward. A clearing pass to the right wing for Dano. He'll play it off the wall. Dano unable to get to it. Merrill doing a good job protecting. And now Gomez tried to send it cross ice for 2-2. Trout steps into 2-2, and heading down the right wing is Dano again. Half board. Cross ice. Off the bench comes Letestu, and there's an elbow that again goes undetected by the official. 2-2 coming hard and up high. I thought on Letestu. Gomez. Picked up there on the left wing boards. Ruutu. And it's played by Tootin. Dalton Prout. Right side there for Morin. Drop pass Tootin. Looks up the left wing. Sends it in as Ruutu steps into Tootin. Now Fraser. Long shot. Sent wide of the net. Jack Johnson defends deep in the zone. Savard rims it around the boards. Looking for an Isimov. The puck sails deep into Devils territory. And it's scooped up by Green. Gianna got a stick on it. Right to Bobrovsky. Sergei left there for Savard. Throws it up the middle. And again, the Devils, after retreat, moving back deep into their own zone.
A lot of end-to-end here, Jeff, but it's mostly missed passes.
Wraparound attempt off the goalpost. Oh, did you see Dubinsky come in and do a little caretaking there as it went off the goalpost and was left in the blue paint?
Went right through the crease off the far post on that wraparound. Dubinsky was there. Luckily, just very gently went in, picked it up on his backhand and cleaned it up.
Merrill stepped into there by Cam Atkinson. Battle ensues here in the near corner. Toss back up high. Cross ice. Long shot. Sails wide of the net. Jackets in pursuit. Ryan Johansson. One hand's ahead for Atkinson. Here comes Jenner. One man back. Jenner down that right side. Jenner moves to the middle of the ice. Oh! And he stick handled his way by the defenseman Severson, but could not pull the trigger. At the other end of the ice, some anxious moments there before Dubinsky steps up.
Yeah, right here. Elias doesn't get all the way out, but gets that puck all the way across the crease. There it goes under Sergei's arm. A little luck there off the inside of the post. Great look at it right here. Off Sergei's back, off the post. Here's the players. Nisimov on the right there. Ooh, joining the crowd with the oohs and ahs.
Puck dumped into the zone. They were going end-to-end, as you pointed out, Jody, and almost 5 minutes of continuous play, 4:45 to be exact. 15 minutes now remaining here in the third period. Jackets lead 2-1. Devils lead the season series 2-1. And a delayed penalty upcoming here. Jackets will get a power play. They've got 6 skaters on. Hartnell on to Nick Foligno. First across the line, goes wide. Foligno drops it back. Connaughton, one-timer there. Rebound in front. Down is Schneider in the blue paint, and he will hold on. 14:32 left third period.
Good job by the Blue Jackets there. Goaltender out of the net. Bobrovsky goes to the bench. Hartnell goes back and settles things down, and then comes up with speed for a good opportunity on net.
New Jersey, number 21, minor penalty, high sticking.
A little history between these two, Gomez and Dano. The last shift they were out together, they came nose to nose a couple times. And Dano with an elbow on Gomez at the end of that shift. Well, this is a high stick from Gomez on Dano. He's getting under the skin of the opposition. We've known that for the last few games, but there it draws a big penalty.
Jackets 1 for 2. Shot sails wide of the net. Savard rims it around the boards. Dubinsky. A penalty shot. Goal. Put the Jackets in front. The power play goal was scored by Foligno in the waning seconds of the Jackets' second attempt. Race for the puck here. Jack Johnson gets there well ahead of Gianta as we close in on the 6-minute mark and 90 seconds remain on the power play. Savard now dropping it back for Atkinson coming late. Atkinson, 20 goals on the season. On for Dubinsky. Dubinsky gets it back from Jack Johnson. Again, Jack Johnson with 18 power play assists, tied for the club lead. Dubinsky sending across ice, but is blocked there by Elliott. Atkinson reaches for it. Jack Johnson steps up off the stick there of Zajac and back into Columbus territory.
Zajac there, Jeff, jumped to that inside position. You knew Jack Johnson had one option and he had one thing he wanted to do was get it across ice, but Zajac beat him to that inside ice, broke up that pass.
Foligno back to retrieve. Ryan Johansson on for Foligno. Connaughton is on the point, along with Alexander Wenberg. Waiting at the offensive blue line, Scott Hartnell. Jackets failed to gain entry. They'll try again here. Less than 30 seconds left on the power play. Here comes Foligno across the line. Swept to that right wing. Rimmed around the wall. Cut off there by Johansson. Ryan Johansson deals to Connaughton. Connaughton. Johansson. Johansson the shot. Rebound! Schneider moving laterally. Jackets again. Johansson tried to kick it from skate to stick. Short-handed now. Final seconds. Gianta fires. Bobrovsky the stop. And then shovels it to the left wing boards. Penalty over. Out steps Gomez. Teams are back at full strength. Gianta knocked down, gets back up. A little pushing and shoving. No damage done. Here's Scotty Hartnell. Hartnell to the point. Proud able to keep it in. Tooten shovels ahead. That's Hartnell now. Scotty Hartnell from the left wing. On to Johansson. Ryan Johansson extending a point-scoring streak to 8 games here with an assist on the Foligno power play goal. Foligno caught up there with Green. The two finally separated. Less than 12 minutes left now here in the third period.
Well, that Green, Foligno's contact, that Foligno skate got close to Green's hand, but Green hit Foligno. He got the worst of it.
Walton Prout. Calvert looking for Letestu. D-to-D. Jelinek. Puck knocked down. That's Mateau. Right wing. Camilleri. Mateau. Zajac, the forward line employed here by the Devils, with Prout now stepping away from Camilleri. Looks to the right wing for Jeremy Morin. Morin, left wing. Too far there for Matt Calvert. Severson to play. It's on to Jelinek. Approaching the 9-minute mark as the Devils look to march into Columbus territory. They dump in, and we'll get fresh legs on here. 9 minutes into this third period. Jack Johnson. On for Dubinsky. Johnson gets it back, steps to center. Floats a backhand deep into the Devils' end. Played there by Larson. Left wing. Right side for Tutu. Tutu across the line. Tutu goes in. Finishing a check there on Savard. Dubinsky hits the streaking Atkinson. Turning away. Atkinson tripped up. Crowd again looking to see a penalty call.
They might have had their case there. Atkinson with good speed, put the brakes on, turned up, trying to get away from pressure. Well, that was Green, threw his stick out right underneath the skates of Atkinson, who went down.
Devils dump in. Wenberg first back for the Jackets. Fights off the check, throws it up to left wing. Wenberg again below that goal line, helping out his defenseman. There's Ruutu. Left wing, Scotty Hartnell. Right side goes Dano, plays it off the boards. Dano now in deep. Fraser trying to pin him. Dano fights it off. Goluboff, right point. Onto the left side for Connaughton. He'll settle it down. Dano retreats behind the net, looking for Wenberg. Wenberg now rims it around the boards. Hartnell in pursuit, stepping up. Goluboff. Dano. Dano walking out. Backhands a pass in the slot, but Hartnell unable to get a stick on it. The defenseman, Fraser, did. And the Devils have dumped down. Johansson reaching for it. Larson attempted to play it. Johansson is hit there by Ruutu, who's lost his stick. And Johansson moving it along just a little further.
Yeah, he had to adjust his visor there before he got that stick out of the way. And then got back into the play, but took a pretty good hit from Ruutu there.
Ruutu right at the end of the shift. Now some pushing and shoving.
Pretty good action right in front of Bobrovsky there. The net was off the moorings just as this whistle went. Golubov was not happy at all with Henrique.
8:47 left. 2-1, Columbus.
Marco Dano playing in his 30th game in the National Hockey League tonight. Scott Gomez playing in his 1,040th. And watch the battle between the rookie and the wily veteran. Gomez, Dano get tangled up early here. Watch Dano here. Gomez takes a run at him and gets the worst of that. And here's a little stick to the face. Maybe accidentally on purpose. But watch Gomez here waiting to see what was going to happen from the young buck. Dano, who sure has asserted himself in this lineup. I don't know if it's chemistry with that line, but taking up a lot of space on these guys out there.
Well, he certainly, and we've said it before, gets under the skin of the opposition. Tonight, no different. Merrill, cross ice, less than 8.5 left here in the third. Jackets pressure, Devils get it to Henrique at the line. Drops it on the wing, 2-2. Pad save, rebound. Letestu alertly able to backhand it back into New Jersey territory. Severson paired with Merrill on the point. New forward line comes over the boards for the Devils. Camilleri, Zajac, and Leteau. Nick Foligno looking for Dubinsky. Trailing, Savard on to Foligno across the line. Foligno, Savard in front, and Zajac able to get it to Camilleri. Back come the Devils. 7:50 showing up on the clock here now as Dubinsky gets away with one as Camilleri was dropped. Now Foligno offside. 7:40 left. Shots favor the Jackets 27-21. They lead on the goal by Dubinsky. Savard coming close. Sergei Bobrovsky, who has stopped 20 of 21 shots here through the first two periods plus. He is the subject of tonight's Ohio Health Great Save.
And you got to throw David Savard in there too, Jeff. He makes that initial save right there. And Zajac throws that biscuit right back at the net. Savard, then Bobrovsky goes out to challenge that puck. How does he get out there that quick? Man.
That athletic body, that hard work. You talked about his preparation very early in the telecast here today. And I don't think anybody, I've never seen all my years in the game a goaltender work as hard in preparation on a game day as this guy. Makes a nice stop right there.
He's focused all the time, I think.
Now, you were a teammate of his in Philadelphia earlier on in his career. Did he
I used to warm him up.
You used to warm him up.
He worked hard, Jeff. He has an unconventional routine. Actually goes to, I think it's Austria, to do some training in the mountains. That's in his off season, of course, but picks up some interesting calisthenics from over there.
Well, there he picked up the puck and held it in the paint for the faceoff.
Another huddle there in front of Bobrovsky. And there's your AP power play summary. Jackets having one more man advantage. Also had that penalty shot, which they cashed in on.
Yes, they did. 10th goal of the year for Dubinsky.
Is that part of the summary?
Well, it's not on a power play, but it is a penalty shot. So,
okay.
You want it in there? Next time we'll have it there for you.
I don't know. It's just a question that I thought I'd ask.
Well, it's not considered a power play if that's what you're getting at. But
we should ask somebody else.
No, it's not. You don't take my word for it.
I got you.
6:34 left. But it's a key goal.
Oh, big goal. Quite an advantage.
Yes, it was. Dubinsky earned it and then beat Schneider. That's the difference in the hockey game right now. The goal coming at 4:44 of the second period. Less than 3 minutes after the Foligno power play goal. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left. Camilleri drops it back. On here for Fraser. Puck ricochets off the stick of Dano, who's able to recover, protects that puck, and then gets it away from Fraser to send it into New Jersey territory with less than 6 minutes left.
Good job by Dano to get that out. Hartnell Wemberg, it was late in the shift. They're in the defensive zone. Just get it out, get it down the ice, manage it so your line mates can get off.
Nice play there by Savard to step up. Anisimov walked right to the net. Puck drilled wide there by Jack Johnson from the left point. He'll take it from Savard. These two have been a fixture, and they are matched up most nights against the opposition's top line. Johnson, oh boy, 2-2. What a great hit there by Jack Johnson. He saw 2-2 coming. 2-2 went down. 2-1, 5:19 left. 5:19 left. The Jackets lead. The Devils 2-1. Our big watch, big play. The difference in the hockey game right now. The penalty shot.
Penalty shot right there. Mateau whips that stick on Dubinsky. Here he comes. Confident. One-on-one with Schneider and snaps it right over his pad. Celebration.
And it will be Dubinsky taking the draw to the right of Corey Schneider.
See that there? First career penalty shot. Attempt and goal for Brandon Dubinsky.
Green. Dangerously tosses in front of his own net. Severson to center. Tootin now will step up and hammer it right back in. Nick Foligno working the wall. On for Dalton Prout. Floats it. Blocked before it got through to Schneider. Chipped off the wall and into the Columbus end of the ice where Feder Tootin paired with Dalton Prout. D-to-D. Prout now will step to the line. Prout from center. Away from Mateau. That's Green. Slides across ice for Severson. 4:35 left. Mateau knocked away by Goluboff, who steps up. Kevin Connauton communicating with Goluboff. He looks to the left wing. Goluboff saying throw it up the left wing. Calvert off the bench and was waiting. Calvert now on the half board. Calvert back tonight after missing 15 games. Puck rolls off the stick of the Jackets. And now Elias. On for Dana Zubris. Connauton steps up on him. Kick back to the point. Jelinek can't get anywhere. Calvert able to sweep a backhand below that goal line. Less than 4 minutes left. Merrill on for Elias. Rink wide. Cut off there by Jenner. Jenner with a pass looking for Johansson. Again, that long reach. Now battling against Zubris. Puck gets away from Connauton. Protecting it. Tripped up was Connauton by Elias, and that's a penalty.
Elias not happy with that.
Oh boy. Little slash there. He's headed off. Jackets get the sixth skater on with Bobrovsky at the bench. Got to be responsible for your stick. And whether you're attempting to play the puck or drop the player, it's a penalty.
Yes, that's a penalty. Now, this was not a penalty. You mentioned Jack Johnson hit 2-2. 2-2 took a run at Jack Johnson here. Jack Johnson knows he's coming. Lays the shoulder. Looked like he got the helmet right in the nose. And look at this. 2-2 had some major work done here. Oh, my goodness. Elias. Now he's got the double cotton up the nose there. That's uncomfortable, Jeff. Take my word for it.
Isn't the rule, though, now he can't come on the ice unless he gets a new jersey?
He's got blood on the jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, well, let the refs see it.
If he comes out in these final 3 minutes plus, but right now the Jackets are on a power play. They're fourth. They are 1 for 3 with 3 shots. Jack Johnson on to Johansson. Knocked out of the air by Josephson. Zajac is with him. Down the right wing. Josephson feeds Zajac, but steered very calmly by Bobrovsky into the corner. 2:50 left. David Savard. Hard to the line. He has set career highs, goals, assists, points, penalty minutes. Breakout, and now a breakaway. Short-handed. Zubris in, denied. Second attempt. Bobrovsky shuts the door. Not once, but twice. Then takes a hit, and they're saying it's a goal.
Well, this play, I mean, this is all right after that initial breakaway from Zubris. Watch what happens here. Zubris is going to get this shot, follow up with the rebound. Puck is loose. He doesn't quit on the play. He gets it back up front, and there Camilleri comes out of nowhere. Two whacks at it, actually scores from behind the goal line.
It bounced off Bobrovsky.
What a sequence of events there. Zubris kept the play alive behind the net after taking the initial shot, the rebound, and then the bouncing puck behind the net. Gets it out in front of the net, and that puck's in the air. Camilleri comes flying in, whacks it once at the net, and then from behind the goal line, puts it past Bobrovsky.
This one under review. We can tell you, though, that the referee did point to the net. So,
he did call it a good goal.
Yes, he did. So, it would have to be conclusive to overrule it.
And they're checking for a high stick is what we understand here. There it is. Zubris. Puck's in the air. There's Camilleri. One whack. And as he gets pushed behind the net, we're going to get a decision right here.
After review, the call out on the ice is going to stand. We got a good goal.
So, the Devils, short-handed, have tied it up.
Yeah, it's below the line. He actually missed on the first one. It bounced in towards Bobrovsky, and then that second one he put past him.
2-2 with 2:20 left. Atkinson down the right wing and across the line. Cam Atkinson sends it back to the point. Kevin Connaughton now from deep in the zone. Jackets continue on the power play. Down to 50 seconds. Connaughton on for Dubinsky. Anisimov tried to throw the wraparound to that far corner. Atkinson now. Fedor-Tutin. Connaughton. Kevin Connaughton at the goal line. Hops over the stick of Anisimov. Bounces all the way away from Dubinsky and out of the zone. Devils get fresh legs on the kill. Jackets have now given up 5 shorthanded goals on the season. Camilleri with his second of the night, 27th of the season. Zubris drives the lone assist. Second assist to Larson. And the shorthanded goal has tied it up here with a little more than a minute left. The power play is now over. Elias back on the ice.
Just watching Giunta go down the hallway. He's in some trouble. He's getting some big help. Something happened on that penalty kill with him.
Schneider sends it off the stanchion. Savard with a shot that's deflected wide. Final minute of regulation. Moved by Fraser to center. Savard sends it down. Left wing. Scotty Hartnell. Hartnell with Wenberg and Dano. Dano now in pursuit. Fraser is there. Fighting off the check. Dano slips and falls. Fraser to play away from Hartnell. This is Elias at center for the Devils. On to Zubris. Dana Zubris tried to refeed Elias. Now Boone Jenner. Jenner trying to fight off the check. Elias moves it ahead there for Zubris, who's hit there by Dano. Jenner in pursuit. Larson. Jenner finishing the check. Backhanded. Out of the zone. Tutin now. Bouncing puck. Looking there for Letestu. Jenner knocks it out of the air. Here's Boone Jenner. Back for Johansson. Letestu just ripped it wide in the dying seconds of regulation. He had that corner pick, but it just sailed wide. Let's take another look at this scoring check.
Yeah, he was off balance there. Nice little play by these guys. Boone Jenner out there with Letestu and Ryan Johansson. This play works its way to the test tubes. Tied up pretty good. He gets it in there towards the net. You said it, 9 seconds of that third period. We're headed to overtime, Jeff.
And we'll have it for you on the other side. 2-2 after regulation. We are going to overtime. Jackets record in overtime 11-4. 5-12 are the New Jersey Devils. Tied at 2. Let's check out tonight's PNC game summary.
Well, the Jackets have been on a really good streak here. And you know what? The face-offs have been great all this time, and we pointed out individuals. Well, look at tonight. They've done another great job in that. Coach calls the first battle for the forwards in that spot, and they've done a nice job here tonight, headed to overtime.
Jackets out-shooting New Jersey through regulation. 30-26. Jackets were outshot in that third period, 8-6. The lone goal, the tying goal, shorthanded by Camilleri. 4-on-4 hockey here. In overtime. Dalton Prout. Camp behind Bobrovsky. Tootin walks it to center. Steps in and across the line. Tootin circling the net, tried to fire it on Schneider. Dubinsky, Matt Calvert. Tootin waits top of the circle. It ricochets off his stick and out of the zone. Race for the puck, Henrique and Tootin. Tootin will get there first. Able to clear the zone. Devils almost caught with too many men. Zajac able to avoid that puck. Now Johansson. Nice move. Johansson circling the net. Dubinsky camped in front. Savard on to Jack Johnson. Backhand scores! Jackets win in overtime. And Jack Johnson's on his way to his second 50. The Jackets pour off the bench and celebrate an overtime victory, and Bobrovsky comes all the way down the ice to help in the celebration.
Yeah, don't forget about that goaltender. We'll celebrate with him. Ryan Johansson just toying with guys out here. Puck on a string, around the net he goes. Heads up play to David Savard, who makes a great fake shot pass to Jack Johnson. Backhand off the post. And then a celebration. But what a play by Johansson and Savard. And oh yeah, Jack Johnson. I'll just throw this on net. Backhand. Look where it goes. Right off the post. Watch this delayed. Waited a bit.
And there it is. The celebratory hug. Foligno and Sergei Bobrovsky. A second pat on the back. The Jackets win in overtime. Extend their winning streak to 7 games, tying the season high 7-game win streak.